Hey everybody, thanks for joining me again. Tonight we're going to briefly discuss the Endangered Species Act in the context of environmental ethics in a presentation I'm calling Congressional Ecology, Environmental Ethics, and the ESA. My name is Sean Ulansky. I'm presenting through the American Public University System for Environmental Ethics, EVSP 508. So again, we're discussing the Endangered Species Act, which was passed by Congress in the year 1973. The Act is administered by the Departments of the Interior and the Department of Commerce, specifically the secretaries thereof. The Secretary of Interior holds responsibility for adding species to the list of threatened or endangered species based on the best available science. In addition to that, or going along with that, the Secretary is responsible for identifying and designating critical habitat, that being habitat that is essential to the persistence of the species. Secretary also has the power to delist or downlist species based on best available science, downlisting being moving from an endangered status to a threatened or removed from the list entirely. Secretary of Commerce is responsible for informing the Interior Secretary of needs to list species. The Interior Secretary at that time will add those species to the list. Secretary of Commerce can also suggest that species are delisted or downlisted. Again, at that time, the Interior Secretary will review the science and determine if those species should be taken off or moved down the list. How does all of this tie into environmental ethics? There are a couple explicit statements in the Act that really bring this all together. We look at the economic growth and developments that has caused species extinction. Congress directly addresses that in the opening statements of the purposes of the Act. According to Bookchin, current ecological crisis is attributable to competitive markets that lead to overexploitation through incessant need to grow to keep the market functioning. This is the essence of social ecology, and Congress really identifies that in that opening statement. Additionally, explicitly addressed is the aesthetic value of wildlife, endangered species in particular, to the American people. This, without question, plays into the aesthetic ethic. Additionally, Congress identifies ecological needs, scientific needs, really looking at both anthropocentric and biocentric needs, touching on land ethics as well as deep ecology. Those will be discussions for another time. The two that I've mentioned here, the social ecology and the aesthetic ethic, are the key factors in the passage of the Endangered Species Act.